there. We are live on Facebook. We are live on Instagram. We are live to the world. What's up, Derek? Hello, the passionate individual. Hello, Lisa. Hello, B. Bordeaux. The Enneagram, my Enneagram buddy, Jeffrey Melanot. This is going to be so much fun. And so make sure you say hello to us in the comments if you're watching with us live. Let us know where you're coming from. And it is great to be with you. We're going to have a fun conversation today. And what we are going to talk about is something that I think is just completely overlooked by a lot of people out there putting so much effort and energy into building their businesses on social media and missing what I really believe is the most critical step. And what is the most critical step? It is building to a real connection and a real conversation. And we're spending so much time addicted to trying to look good, addicted to trying to get clicks and likes and all that BS. And it just chews us up, I think, especially if we're not making that conversion to connection. So what do you think about that, Daddy?
I think it happens all the time. And it's so hysterical to me when people are always telling me how many friends they have on Facebook and this hotshot's following them, that's hotshot's following them. And I'm going, yeah, well, great. But what's your human interaction with that human being? You know, I'm glad that he's got 50,000 followers and likes. And as a matter of fact, if you look at Gary Vaynerchuk and, if he does any Facebook Live or anything like that, he's got 5,000 people watching the show. And he's got 3 connections where he's actually 3 people are on the stage, that elevated stage with him. And I'm one of the 3. And I have no idea why, because I've never, ever had an interaction with Gary Vaynerchuk. And I've tried. I'm with him in community. I've tried on Facebook. I've tried on Instagram. I've tried on Twitter. I've tried on Smoke Signal. But never once has he reached back to me to actually have a humanized relationship. And so it would be easy for me to say, oh, Gary and I, look at me, I'm one of the 3. But no, it's not true. I don't delude myself into thinking we're friends when we're not, because it takes 2 to tango.
Totally. So, Dad, is my audio coming out of your phone as I'm talking on Instagram? Mute your mic on Facebook when I'm talking then, because otherwise we're going to double speak the audio. I just realized, I think. All right, so we're figuring this thing out. It was probably a total mess at the very beginning of that, but here we are. So thanks for hanging with us if you did. And it's so important. This stuff really is absolutely critical. And the cool part is it's a lot easier. And we're going to speak to this from the perspective of somebody who doesn't have a lot of influence, right? So if you have a ton of influence, then maybe you have more people commenting on what you're doing and interacting with what you're doing than you know what to do with. But even Tom, who's pretty famous, that's really not most of us. Most of us are going, I could really use a whole lot more connection and interaction on my social media than what I am getting. And so we're going to talk about what that looks like to make it happen. And it really is an evolution from, at the very beginning, really, thinking about a perspective of finding those small wins and reinforcing those small wins, and then building on it. And then as you get further and further along, you can leverage more interaction because you're creating more interaction. So what does that mean? When you're first getting going, maybe if you've never done a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live, or you're really early on in that process, then chances are you maybe don't have any comments on what you're doing. Maybe you got a couple people that popped on there and watched, and you got the little notification that they watched, or maybe you got a couple likes or loves or reactions or whatever, but you didn't get any comments, and you're going, oh, gosh, nothing's happening here, and you're feeling frustrated. That's okay, because the fact that those people watched, you know it, and you have an opportunity to be able to stand out by thanking those people, by interacting with those people, by showing them some love. And those things make a big difference. And then as you begin to do that, you're starting to create this pattern where now more and more people are choosing to be a part of what you're doing. And now maybe you are getting more comments. Maybe you are getting more interactions. Doug Stare, I love what you're saying. That's so true. I'm actually going to throw that up on the screen here on Facebook. Doug said, I have minimal influence, which he has a lot more than he gives himself credit for. But he cares about making a positive difference in his relationships. And that's exactly right. That's what we're ultimately trying to do. And it's about being a human being. It's about operating on a one-on-one kind of way, and it is something that is within your reach. So Dad, unmute your Facebook mic and tell me what you think about that.
I think you're 100% right. And I think I might be, I've never been able to get into the Guinness Book of Records, but I think I'm finally a candidate for the Guinness Book of Records. Do you want to know why that is, Adrian?
I do, badly.
I think that Pat Quinn or Pete Vargas, those guys talk about other people's stages and how to get an influencer, which there's a case to be made. I'm one of those to interact with you. So Pat Quinn and Pete Vargas said, what you want to do is get on all the podcasts that you can, all the stages that you can, other people's stages. So almost every day I get a request from somebody to be on their podcast. And that forces an interaction with me. And what that forces to have happen is I have to look at who it is. So I'm going to go, oh, that's Doug Stare, or that is whomever it might be. And then I have to go figure out how big their podcast is. And this is all happening in conversation. But at that point, I've already been in conversation with this person, and we're starting to develop a relationship. And you cannot believe how many first guests I am on podcasts, but how many new friends I've made, because people have just had the guts and the brains to go with my philosophy, which is if you want to catch a mouse, you have to think like a cheese. So the cheese in Tom Chenault's case is on your podcast. So as a result of that, all of a sudden that relationship from influencer to you, or influencer, Gary Vaynerchuk, the same thing. If I could figure something out on Gary Vaynerchuk, where I could figure out what the cheese was with Vaynerchuk, other than profanity, because I'm not that big a profanity guy, said Tom Chenault never. So the name of the game is this. Yeah, I'm just telling all of you, there's got to be something I want that you have. And even the illusion has got me hooked with a lot of people, where now I'm their friends and I'm helping build their podcast. So not only do they get me, I'm such an egomaniac, they get my whole audience when I'm on their podcast, and everybody wins. So the name of the game is I would pay close attention to that, because I know it didn't answer your question, but I went into my head and my total rant made sense to me. So if I didn't answer your question, I sincerely apologize.
Well, as long as your rant made sense to you, then we're good.
Thank you.
Got to mute you.
What are you trying to figure? Oh, I have to mute.
I got you. I muted you. You turned your camera off, though. Turn the camera back on. All right. You're good. We're figuring this thing out. So it really is. It's a both and thing, right? You got to learn how to be effective in creating content on social media. You got to learn how to put stuff out there that people actually want to do. Simon, the Facebook and the LinkedIn the Facebook and the Instagram are the same thing. So you are good, but we are going to share something with you in a second that you are going to love. That is how you can take this deeper. So if you think about it, you've got to be able to put content out there that people actually want to interact with, because that is really the funnel that is going to ultimately bring people to want to have a conversation with you. And they're really dying to have a conversation with you. They just don't know it yet, because the reason that they chose to come and be a part of what you're doing on social media in the first place is because they find you interesting and because you're contributing value to their life. And so now it's the next stage, but you got to learn how to do that. And so once you start learning how to do that and you get better at it and you start getting comfortable in your own skin and more comfortable trying to be the best version of you instead of trying to be Gary Vee or trying to be Brene Brown or trying to be Ray Higdon or trying to be any of these different people that are not you, when you can start being the best you're going to attract the kind of people who want to be around you, and you're going to start showing up louder and more effectively on social media. And then you are going to shift into this place of having a better conversation and initiating more conversations with more people through the lens of what you're putting out there on social media. So you need to have both of those things. And in that vein, I'm really excited because today is actually your last chance to get hold of something really, really exciting and powerful that I want you to be a part of. So coming up this weekend, starting tomorrow, this is a virtual event. So you don't need to go buy a plane ticket. You don't need to do anything. All you are doing is investing a little bit of your time and a really little bit of your money to be able to plug into something incredibly powerful that can change your life and change your business. And that event is called Rank Makers Live 2021. And we, Contact Mapping, are the exclusive sponsors of that event. And so here's what's going to happen. I'm actually going to throw this up here on the screen on Facebook. What you need to do right now is you need to message us the word event, and we're going to get you the details about this. But it is going to be incredible. So the first half of this equation, I don't think there's a better thing you could do in your life than to jump into this event this weekend. And as the sponsors of the event, we have an unbelievable deal. So a ticket to this event costs $157, but because we are the exclusive sponsors, we were able to get a special discount and knock that price all the way down to $87. And so $87 for an action-packed weekend full of the best people out there in the world, showing you how to build your business on Instagram, on TikTok, on Clubhouse, on video in general. The guy that put together multiple reality TV shows on national networks. He was the guy behind 10X with Grant Cardone, the guy behind the 5-second rule with Mel Robbins. He is like the guru on how to show up powerfully on video on any platform. He's going to be training there. And not only that, but the best mindset people as well. So Dr. Joe Dispenza is one of the keynote speakers. If you don't know who he is, he's unbelievable. So the best people out there are going to be training you on that first half of the equation. And if you want to be a part of that, all you need to do is message us the word event, and we'll get you those details. And it's going to be so incredibly powerful. So I'm going to throw this here on Instagram. Sorry. So it's going to blow you away. It's going to be so powerful. But the second half of the equation is the one that's more important. And what we're so excited about is that 1 + 1 = 11 when it comes to that. I learned this the other day, right? So you think 1 + 1 = 2, but when you create something powerful, 1 + 1 = 11. And so what we are going to do is we have a private space just for contact mapping, just for our crew, where we are going to get to all be part of this event virtually together in the same space, but we are going to be processing it through the lens of how to have more powerful connection and conversation and relationship as that event is happening, and it is going to blow you away. And so I'm so excited to share that with you. You want to be a part of it. And so I will make sure to, I see a bunch of you that are commenting event. If you can message me event, even better, but I will definitely be sharing this with you afterwards so you can learn more. But I'm just so incredibly excited about that. And so Dad, unmute yourself on Facebook and talk about what you are most looking forward to this weekend.
Well, don't we have our own private room where I get to be in there and entertain you when you're getting bored and crack jokes and do all kinds of crazy stuff, or not?
That's it. That's what I'm talking about.
So we got a private room, and I'm telling you, that will be perfect because I will run herd on everything. So there won't be anybody doing any goofy stuff except paying attention and having fun and laughing and edifying and do all the jazz that goes along with it. Plus, we'll get to know each other, and you can invite me to be the first guest on your podcast. It's going to be epic. I'll bring the, I don't do popcorn. It's not fattening enough. So I'll bring the ice cream, all kinds of stuff. It will be unbelievable. And we'll have a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, you are a freaking maniac. All right. So let me mute that over there. So that's exactly right. This space, this separate private space that we are creating where you are going to get to be riding alongside with our team, with our trainers, with a like-minded group of people who understand that this thing that 90% of people don't do is where all the power resides. That is what we're going to be up to this weekend. It is going to be phenomenal, and you got to be a part of it. It's going to blow you away. And so all you need to do to learn more, to get access to this, because it starts tomorrow. So you got to get going right now. We're going to delete this thing at the end of today because we are about to be out of runway to get you to this event, and we want you there. So message us the word event right now. We will make sure to get that to you, and we can't wait to share it with you because it is going to be just one of the most transformational weekends ever. So with that, over to you, Dad, to close us out. Dad, you didn't unmute yourself on Facebook. I just saw the comment. I'm so sorry. You're good. Keep talking. Go pick it back up. You're all right.
Okay, I took a licking and kept on ticking. Here's the deal. I'm telling you, it's $29 a day. I have to repeat myself now. $29 a day, which is a heck of a deal. On top of that, you're going to get $1,000 worth of extra stuff from these guys. If you've never heard Matt Morris, he is unbelievable. Joe Dispenza, all these people, Shailene Johnson, I am telling you, you don't think your business and your education is going to improve by $100 over the lifetime of your career? Or you don't have 3 days to jump into the foxhole with some people that are where you want to go? I'm telling you, they're where I want to go. That's what I guarantee you. And I guarantee you one thing right now, I'm going to be sitting right here with you because it's that important. You know, your ticket for us financially is not going to change our life. What's going to change our life is your life changing. And you coming back and telling us, man alive, thanks for being such a stand for me, because I didn't want to do this thing. I wanted to go do my tile job. No, put that thing aside so you don't have to go do what you don't want to do for the rest of your life. Maybe you can do what you want to do for the rest of your life. Who knows? I want to be a poet. No, I don't. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I still have time. All right, take it away, buddy.
You wanted to be a poet, you just didn't know it. All right. So we can't wait to have you here this weekend with us. It is going to be incredible. And we need you to be there because we need your life to change, because we want to change together and we want to change the world together. And so thank you so much for being part of this with us today. We will see you soon, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. We'll catch you later. See you next time. Bye-bye.